Brewers Log April 9th, 2020. It's been a few weeks since I started the last few batches of cider. They seem to be doing fairly well over here. They're not bubbling very much. As I was making other cider tonight, I didn't see a whole lot of bubbles, but there is bubbles, so I think I'm going to let them go a few more days, but it may be possible I'm going to rack them this weekend and see where they're at. I did start 4 new batches of cider this week. They are using Lewisburg cider as the base. 2 of them are Nate's honey and 2 of them are brown sugar. But I have something new and a little bit different this week to put on here. Is that I started at a Pyment, Pyment. So this is a gallon of concord grape juice along with 2.5 pounds of honey. So I'm going to try to make a mead that is based on concord grapes instead of just your standard water. Because I had a couple of bottles of concord grape juice that I hadn't used from a couple of years ago. So I decided I was going to make them into a mead. And unlike my cider, I made it into a mead. So it takes a little more honey than what I normally do, but it's going to push us somewhere between 12 and 15% alcohol versus the normal 10 and 9 to 10% that I get from everything else. So we'll see how these come out. I am going to use a little bit different for this and that for the mead I use Redstar or Premier Champagne is actually the name on the bag that I've got. I believe they are now called Premier Blanc. I'm not sure if they were the same thing or not, but my understanding is they are. This is back from before or when I was making 3 flower meads. It was called Premier Champagne, and I believe it has now been changed to Premier Blanc. But it handles a much higher alcohol than my S-04 does, so that is what I'm using in the mead. And for the ciders that I'm doing, they will definitely be using S-04 because that was what I found I preferred for most of my ciders. So that is the direction I'm going. Right now I've only labeled the bottles with the sugars in them. I will be putting S-04 and the date on them and then topping them off as I finish up.